Well, hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to this week's new episode of Breakfast with Boom. I'm your host, Mr. BoomStick XL, and we have a stacked panel. We actually have a surprise guest that wasn't originally on the docket and is here to, do what he does best, and that's act crazy and drop incredible knowledge. But before we get into his intro, I have to do a big shout out to Jay Lambert of Twitter. He did something last night for me that it doesn't happen very often, and it's because I don't ask for it. I certainly feel, Mrs. Boomstick and I are more givers than we are takers. Well, he surprised me with a copy of Elden Ring, which I am playing. It is kicking my ass, yes, and we're going to get into that on the back end of it because, man, it is very much a Souls game. And yeah, I'm figuring it out. But Jay Lambert, brother, thank you. I know you're listening. Thank you so much for the generosity. That is extremely kind of you. Yeah, he sent me through DM a copy of Elden Ring, which I'm actually quite enjoying, even though I'm getting my teeth kicked in. But thank you, brother. Definitely appreciate that. But let's get into the intros, folks. But you know what? Even before then, let's break down the show for you. We got already 50 people here. And kind of wait for people to file in on this cold and bitter and icy morning here in New Rochelle, New York. We're going to be breaking down the leaked information from our very good friend Jeffy Grub of VentureBeat yesterday while he was doing the Grub Snacks show that he does for Giant Bomb. He dropped a lot of big information, one of which we did an emergency podcast because he dropped the information that Fallout New Vegas 2 right now is the conversation is being had at Microsoft for Obsidian to reprise their role as developer, and I think that is huge. But that wasn't the only news that Jeff Grubb dropped. As a matter of fact, he dropped some big information regarding PlayStation's Game Pass answer, I guess, if you can call it, Spartacus. And we're going to be breaking it down, folks. I'm here to tell you it's hot garbage. It is, in fact, I would dare even say that it's recycled garbage that Sony is trying to make new and sell you again. But we're going to break down why I feel that way and why you shouldn't be fooled by these pricings. And as a matter of fact, secretly and almost in the most nefarious way possible, they just now doubled PlayStation Plus from $60 to $120 per month. And I'm going to break that down, how that is. I know people are challenging me saying that, no, you can still get the $60 cards, but can you? And I don't think that's going to be the case. I think they're going to drop it down to like $100 for the year, which still raises it $40 from $60. And I don't know about you folks. I never paid that. I always went to cdkeys.com and got my year of PlayStation Plus for $33. So this is going to be something that I'm going to not support. I don't think you should support it either. And one of the other things that's egregious that no one ever talks about is how Sony locks cloud saves behind this paywall when Microsoft lets you save everywhere for the price of free. So again, more shenanigans from SIE, and I'm not going to stand for it. I'm going to talk about it in the most proper way possible, but I am going to give them the business. But before we get into that, the second half of the show, folks, we're going to be talking about Elden Ring. Right now, it's sitting with 40 plus perfect scores. That's right. It got 40 plus 10's, which is, I think it's a record for Metacritic. I'm playing it. I'm quite enjoying it. It is hard AF. Let me just tell you that. And there's no hand holding in this game. It will kick you in the teeth. It has done to me. And listen, I had to go at 1:14 in the morning to YouTube to ask, and I said it right on the thing, how do you summon your horse in Elden Ring? That is how freaking difficult this game is. They tell you, but they don't tell you. So let's get into the introductions, and then we're gonna get right into the show. We got already 100 people here. Thank you so much. If you're new, consider subscribing to Double Barrel Gaming, and of course, if you already are subscribed, don't hesitate and hit that like button. I'm going to start first with Wilmy Hood making his triumphant return. Wilmy, it's great to have you here, brother. How the heck are you?
Well, all things considered, last week, I'm doing pretty damn good, Boom, and I'm glad to be back, man. Yeah, I'm glad to be anywhere right now, pretty much, because last week was not looking good for my happy little ass.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm glad to be here, and I know it's been forever, man, since I've actually been able to make a show with you in the mornings.
Yeah.
Because we all know I've got the most brutal work schedule on the planet. I try to game in between my 16 hours worth of working every day. But luckily, there is a silver lining. You know, being an older OG gamer like we are, even though I'm not going to admit that King David's older than all of us, and luckily he's not here to yell at me over that from on the panel. You know, my family stepped in and looked at me Tuesday and goes, "You know what, Dad? You're going to take a break."
Yeah, good.
So
good stuff.
Luckily, I've actually got a little more free time right now, at least for another 6 weeks. So I am ready. I played Elden Ring, and holy shit, I've never been a Souls guy, but this game, there's just something. I don't know, man. There's just something about it that's kind of got its hooks into me.
Well, that's good. That's good to hear. I think it's happening with a lot of people. I'm going to continue to power through it. I will eventually. I'm going to try and play it like I played Neo, and Neo I put 50 plus hours into. Got to the last boss, could not beat the last boss, but really enjoyed Neo. I'm not a Dark Souls guy at all. I didn't. I thought Sekiro was great, just never put the time in to learn that game. So I'm going to definitely put the effort into here. But Crazy Lou Gaming, brother, you are the wild card of today. We didn't expect you to be here, but here you are. Welcome to the program, brother.
Oh, man. First off, let me say hello to the panel because I hopped in. You guys were in the middle of conversation. Hello, guys.
What's up? What's going on?
Hi, my name is Crispy Bomb. How are you?
Hi, my name is Crazy Louie. How are you? But hey, Boom, thank you for having me on the show. Really surprised to be here with you guys and hang out. And yes, I would like to hear more on the subject that you were talking about, the Spartacus thing. Really, I want to hear about it and get to hear your experiences on Elden Ring. I'm gonna have so much fun. Yeah, I haven't played it yet. All I've done is just sit back, and watch everybody play it first, and just hear them complain. I'm enjoying this.
Honestly, that might not be the worst way to experience it, simply because there is no direction in the game. If the game does not hold your hand, it literally is an open palette and says, "Hey, go everywhere." And I've come across people and creatures that are 5 times my size. And I'm running for dear life, and you're not getting away. So, you know, it's one of those games. It's a lot of trial and error. It's a lot of
error.
Error out the yin yang for sure.
Error,
but let's welcome in Fuzzy Belvedere. Fuzzy, thank you so much. I know that you are going to have a lot to say. We were actually almost having a podcast of sorts before the show actually started regarding Project Spartacus or whatever you want to call it. It is something that we both have heavy opinions on. I cannot wait for the chat to hear yours. And obviously, chat, I want you to give us your opinion on what we're saying. Obviously, if someone disagrees, let's just keep it civil, because you know when it comes to this PlayStation stuff, there's a lot of people getting their feelings, and you know we don't want fighting. We don't want we want people to come in and enjoy the conversation. But how you feeling, brother?
I'm doing pretty good. Glad to be here. Glad we got Wilmy and Crazy Louie. So yeah, this is going to be an awesome show. Crispy Bomb, Dreadpool, Boom. Yeah, this is going to be fun. I can't wait to get into it. But man, oh man, Elden Ring. I'm gonna hold off for a little bit. Not much of a Dark Souls guy.
What?
I will wind up breaking up controller before I get too far into it. I don't need to break any more controllers. So. But
I'm gonna get you to now, Fuzzy, just to be mean.
No, but man, oh man, I've been playing. Was it Horizon and King of Fighters 15, and trying to get back to Dying Light, because I want to stick to at least one game and kind of finish it before we get hit with the backlog of more games later this year. But man, oh man, just so many games, so much to have fun with, and man. Let's get into it.
Yeah, 100%. Crispy Bomb, welcome back, brother. I know that you have been on the socials, trying to give your opinion in a fair way, and a lot of people are challenging on it. And, there are people defending this pricing structure, which we're going to break down momentarily. I think that it's ideally wrong on every level. I think what Sony is trying to do is sell us old stuff as new, and I know you have a lot to say. Welcome, brother.
Oh, good morning. What's up, everybody? I got my coffee and oh man, yeah,
And some taters.
it's a French fry taters. Yeah, it's definitely interesting the conversations going on right now, and even Elden Ring is kind of getting a little wild on opinions, and I have an opinion that some people just don't like, but I don't know. I see a great game there, but I don't see me trying to play that game as well. So
you wouldn't be wrong. This is one of those situations, and I know yesterday I had a chance to sit down with Jez Corden of Windows Central, and one of the big conversations was, should a game like Elden Ring have a story mode where it tells the story of what's going on in the world, holds the player's hand a little bit, kind of give you direction. Obviously it tones down. I mean, there's a way to tone down the bosses or even the encounters to beginner levels and not ruin the game for someone who is a Souls veteran. That conversation has been raging for many years, many iterations. We saw it with Sekiro, we saw it with Dark Souls Remastered, we saw it with Dark Souls 3. We're seeing it again with, of course, Elden Ring. And there really isn't a wrong answer, folks. To be honest with you, I think that this game is going to sell. I think you're probably going to have maybe less than 10% of the populace finish the game because of its difficulty. I like I said, I get that, you don't want to take away from the artist's way he or she wants to tell the story, but there does come a point where I think that you box yourself out of potential sales when a game is so hard that even some of the hardcore folks are having trouble with it. If you just added a story mode and allowed it to be more accessible, the sales on this thing would be through the roof. The sales could potentially be Breath of the Wild level if it was accessible, and unfortunately, it's not. Now, I'm going to stick with it because I really want to find. I want to find my footing in the Souls universe. I don't know if that is going to happen, but only time is going to tell. But let's bring in Mr. Dreadpool. Dread, I know you're going to have a lot to say on this topic, specifically on the PlayStation aspect. I think it's anyone that defends it. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm saying that I want, look, I have a lot to do. I do 4 live shows. I handle a whole household while my wife still works. I can't go and pull receipts from all of these knuckleheads. We were talking about that privately, me and Fuzzy. But if I did, the receipts that I would pull will embarrass people, because some of the same people that gave Microsoft such crap for Game Pass are now here defending this nonsense known as the PlayStation Spartacus. And I wish I had time for receipts, because I would really make people feel embarrassed. But welcome to the program, brother.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. We got to do this again.
Mm-hmm.
My breakfast right now consists of some cheese slices. It's the Colby Monterey Jack style.
Nice. Excellent.
And I actually opened up a bottle, which, come to find out, I don't know what happened to all my bottle openers, but I just found out this morning I don't have a bottle opener, but I've got a bottle of John Wayne root beer that when I went with Clowns for Breaking Bread with Dread, we ended up walking around the mall, and there's this place there that sells a whole bunch of different things, and it's kind of like a Cracker Barrel in sorts, but only more of more modern stuff, So they got the bubblegum cigarettes, they got like I said, a whole bunch of different kind of sodas and stuff. So I decided to crack a John Wayne open. How's that sound?
Well, we love John Wayne, and I'm sure a root beer is going to be very tasty this early in the morning.
Right?
But
and then watching your gameplay, John, it's fitting right in place.
Yeah, yes, absolutely is, especially if you're an old Western kind of a guy, because I guess you can think of the Doom guy like maybe an old school Western kind of a dude. I would agree with that. But listen, folks, let's rip the Band-Aid off and get right into the nitty gritty, so to speak, folks. I'm going to throw up the infographics we're going to cover our faces, unfortunately. But here you go. We're going to come back to. Oh, you know what? Fuzzy, take it away. I got to answer this call.
Okay. All right. So as far as with the PlayStation Plus or the PlayStation Plus replacement / Game Pass competitor, you got 3 different tiers. You're going to start with the essential tier, which is going to be $9.99 a month. Seems reasonable. You get PlayStation Plus benefits that you've always been getting, the free monthly games, the online multiplayer, and PS Store discounts. And then the next tier up from that is going to be extra, which for about $3 more, $12.99 a month, you're looking at PlayStation Plus benefits, the free monthly games, online multiplayer, PS Store discounts. And now this is where you kind of get like the PS Now downloadable game mixture, or like the I guess you could say the blend between PS Plus and PS Now at that level. And then with the next tier, you have the premium, which is $15.99 a month, $1 more than Game Pass Ultimate. Everything in the extra tier, the downloadable and streamable PS Now games. So it's full on PS Now at that point, mixed in. You get the classic games library, which it looks like you're going to have PS2, PS3, and PS4. And I'm not sure why it doesn't list PS1, but
yeah, it's there. It's
a sign.
Yeah.
Oh, so just the symbol. Okay, so
yeah,
it's
PlayStation 1,
PS1.
2, 3, and 4. But Fuzzy, if you don't mind me jumping in, brother, thank you for taking that. I had to take that call. This right here, what you see, folks, in front of you. Look, I understand that they're doing their own thing. I hear you, right? But you, like I was saying in the green room, this may not be an apples to apples comparison, but they're apples to bananas. And the last time I checked, both of them are fruit. So you're gonna have to compare one to the other. If you don't want to, then I'm gonna bring down the graphic again, because I don't want to keep that all day long. If you're going to compare one to the other, this is what we have to do. What is Microsoft doing? Xbox Game Pass, $10 for console, $15 for Ultimate. That gives you the ability to play cloud gaming. That gives you the ability to play on your computer or your console. It's their first-party games day and date. Game Pass adds new games practically 3 and 4 times a month. You're getting 6 to 10 games per month. That does not include all of Microsoft's first party. That includes indies, double A's, triple A's, single A's, everything in there, and they're all enhanced no matter what console you have. If you have a Series S, it's enhanced for the S. If you have an X, it's enhanced for the X. If you have some of the older consoles, it's enhanced for the console that you have. Folks, what you just saw in front of you is not only egregious, in my opinion. There's a ton of open questions here that we're going to get into. Now, look, I may not have all of the information because there's only so much that Grub released and that's available. But look, let's just take it for what it is at face value. What it says to me, and I don't think I'm reading into this, I think I'm clearly understanding what the graphic says in front of me. This is going to be the new pay scale for Sony's online moving forward. That simply tells me that PlayStation Plus, which I pay $33 for on cdkeys.com, and I usually buy 2, I pay 1 year and I get 2 years, is no longer going to be a thing. They're going to charge $10 a month for this, what they're calling essential. And all it brings to you is the free games, and some of them are good and some of them are rubbish. But the other thing that's important is the cloud saves. Now, if you're what's egregious and why it's important to talk about is a perfect example. Horizon Forbidden West bricked some of the community members' consoles. There was a particular female, who I don't have her name, who not only lost her 10 hours of play, but also lost every save on her PS5 because obviously she did not have cloud saves initiated because she didn't have PlayStation Plus. That to me,
that's rough.
In 2022 is disgusting on every level. You try to defend that, and you're defending absolute nonsense. There's no one can tell me that cloud saves should not be a thing. That doesn't even make any sense. Microsoft gives you the cow, the milk, and the chocolate to make your favorite drink, whereas Sony, they nickel and dime you, and this is a perfect example of that. Again, one of the biggest things out of this conversation, well, there are no day and date games. There are trials. And Fuzzy, I'm going to bring it right back to you. You asked an amazing question that I did not even consider. You said, how long are the trials? Yeah. And what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, because a lot of their games, a bulk of their games are going to be single player games.
Yes.
And if it's something like EA where it's 10 hours, I could see a lot of people like power throughing these games just to kind of get their their trophies and maybe even see if they can platinum them. Now, I know that's not going to be the norm, but that is, a high
it's certainly a possibility, though.
But knowing Sony, I get the feeling that it's only going to be a couple of hours because they're not going to want you to finish that game and then not buy it for $70. And then on top of that, with the discounts, what are the discounts going to look like for these $70 games after you do the trial? Are you going to have like an EA-like or like a Game Pass Ultimate-like discount where, all right, it's a brand new game. You did the trial for the 2 hours or hopefully maybe it's 10. Do you get 10% off? Do you get 15? Do you get 30? I mean, what was everything going to look like when that is factored in? But for me, no day and date, it's kind of not really a pass, but I would just like to know what it's going to look like, how many hours, what the discount would be after those hours, and I'll base if it's a value to me at this point or not.
I mean, you make a lot of sense. Let's bring in our guests in on this conversation. We'll start first with Wilmy Hood. Wilmy, listen, you are a guy that's not afraid to spend $1 or $2, right? So,
no.
Right. So, we know that money, money is not an issue. Money can be an issue for several people, which is why Game Pass has allowed so many gamers to conduct their regular lives with putting their kids through school, making sure the rent is paid and such, and still being a part of the gaming conversation. This does not seem to be the case with this for Sony's thing. Now, I've had conversation with people that are saying, "Oh, no, this is just the start of it." And I was always under the impression that when you do something, and you are ex-military like myself, so we are under the same mindset. When we're going to take on a task, we always, not half the time, not 3/4 of the time, not 99% of the time, 100% of the time, Woomy, you and I know that you must put your best foot forward. And that's not what Sony is doing with this. This is them taking a step back and trying to fool the customer into thinking they're doing something new. Like I said, it's recycled garbage that is now something else that they're giving you and selling you that's the same exact thing. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, the first thought I've got is I got to agree with what you just said. The thing is, sometimes you just throw crazy numbers in front of people's faces in advertising. Yes. They don't think to check. They'll just join in, especially with subscriptions now in 2022, man. Mm-hmm. I've got so many subscriptions, dude. I could not even keep track of them all. Let's be honest. I've got a subscription for every damn thing in my life pretty much, except for food. But I've probably got a different take than what a lot of people think. I'm an old gamer. I mean, I'm almost 50 years old. There's a lot of these games on PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 and 3 that I'm really excited I can download and play. Mm-hmm. But I play equally on both. I've always had PlayStation Plus. I never understood the whole paywall thing. I always thought that's really kind of dumb that you have to pay for it to even have cloud saves. But at least now you can download the games, because for me, I don't like streaming games on my PlayStation. Even though I have super fast internet, it still never works properly. So me, I'm kind of on board with it. I want to see where it goes. Do I think they'll have to make some changes? Oh, definitely. Because this is not going to be what some people in the community, I'm pretty sure, are calling a Game Pass killer. Because Game Pass, I mean, let's face it, man, they've got it. You know, whether you like it or not, they're making money with this stuff, and you get games you may never play any other way. And I see this kind of being the same way, because a lot of the younger gamers out here that's not played some of these other games, like on PS2, there is still thousands of games for the PlayStation 2 that people go back and play.
Yeah.
And it'll bring a lot of people back to these older games. But to me, it doesn't really bother me. I do hope they add some day and date stuff, but it is Sony at the end of the day. I doubt they're going to do that. But I mean, the only thing we can do is wait and see. But it's kind of like this is going to draw more competition from Microsoft. So I mean, let's be realistic. I remember, I think it was Lord Saab on the Iron Lords made a comment a few months ago that the reason Microsoft is where they are today is because Sony would literally put their boot on the neck of Microsoft even when they didn't need to do it.
100%. Yeah.
And that drove Phil Spencer and everybody at Xbox to say, hey, look, we need to change some stuff up. And I think this may be the same type of situation because Xbox has a larger mindset now than what they used to have a year ago or 2 years ago, definitely. And that competition is what drove us to this point we're at now. So I think with this all coming on board with Spartacus, whatever the hell you want to call it, which is a dumb name in my opinion, but I think
the official name is Infinity, PlayStation Infinity. I think that's what the official name is. The Spartacus it is a dumb name, but it's a code name.
But I really think this will help drive competition, and competition makes it better for everybody that games.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
that's just all there is to it.
Yeah, well, here's one of the things that we haven't really mentioned because Sony isn't talking about it, and Sony is Sony, so we have to take them at face value. When you play a game like Ninja Gaiden from the OG Xbox on your Xbox Series X, it's enhanced, and the game looks potentially like a new game to you. It does not give you the graphics of the OG Xbox. It is enhanced. Now, there are limitations to this process, but needless to say, it looks much more like you would want for a modern game. See, here's where the problem with this service for Sony comes into play. Yeah, they're going to let me play Twisted Metal Black, but you know what it's going to look like? Blocks on the screen. Right? If you want to go play Tekken 2, maybe Tekken 2 and Tekken Bowling. Mrs. Boom and I used to play Tekken Bowling. I think it was in Tekken 3 that was. And we played it for freaking hours. It was awesome. Do you know what that game would look like that's not enhanced? Well, it's going to look like a terrible PlayStation 3 game. And you're not going to get any... Again, the problem with this service is they're literally throwing bare bones and they're charging more than what you get in Xbox Game Pass. That is a monster problem. But before I bring in Crazy Lou, I got to catch up on some of the super chats, and we have Outbreak Podcast, who's been a member for 7 months. He says, what a great panel, you guys rock. Well, thank you, brother. And yes, Outbreak Podcast, known as Dave, Web Dave, is going to be a guest next week on this very show. So, Dave, we look forward to having you here. Raiden Blade, who's been a member for 10 months of Here Comes the Boom, says, hello, Boom and panel. Looking forward to Elden Ring. Also listening from work. It's Friday. Also, Xbox, XB cancel Call of Duty because of what's happening. I don't think that, I talked to a few people, and I don't think it's the Xbox effect yet because I don't think they legally can do that. I think that it has been suggested in conversations that Call of Duty proper is going to take the break that it needs. Those studios need to breathe a little bit. This every year process is killing them, and it's really wiping out their ability to do other things. So I think that's what it's about. We also have Danny Passion Official. Hey, Danny, what's up, brother? He drops a $5 super chat and says, dealer on the chat, I found a bit unfair. Elden Ring has performance issues and still getting 10's. I enjoyed Sekiro, and I'm enjoying Elden Ring as well. Yeah, a lot of people have issues with that as well. Let's see. What do we got? JC Claremore drops an outstanding $2 super chat and says, prayers go out to CSG Games World. Folks, that's right. Those are the people that are making Stalker 2. They are in Ukraine. And yes, right now there is a lot. Uh-oh, someone's phone is going off.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
All right. Of course, heart and prayers go out to that country. Right now, the world is just, man, it's scary. It's a scary world. And we hope that there's resolution soon to what's going on over there. Let's see. Scrub Nurse drops a very generous. He's been a member for 2 years. What's going on there, Scrub Nurse? He says this. Good morning to the awesome panel and chat. Let's go. Hit the like button. A great day and weekend to game. Indeed, brother. Thank you for being here. Highlander 001 drops a $5 super chat and says, I have a bottle opener built into my prosthetic leg. Oh my God, that is pretty awesome, dude. I got to admit. Psychonauts drops a $5 super chat and he says, why is PlayStation locking back compat and cloud saves behind a paywall? Xbox has the best service with Game Pass and not charging you for BC and cloud saves. 100%. I mean, that's yeah. If it's a part of BC, which they spent a significant amount of dollars in development time, you just get it for playing the game. Again, Sony is just kind of crap. Jacob Novick drops an outstanding $5 super chat and says, brought Dark Souls 1 yesterday to start with. I like it, but it's hard. Made me wonder, should Xbox get a Souls game exclusive? What does the panel think? They should. I don't think they're going to be honest with you. There was a story that comicbook.com dropped, which was BS, that From Software was doing a space game exclusively for Xbox, and they threw Miles Dompierre's name out there, and it wound up being just clickbait for comicbook.com, which for the most part I do like, and Miles actually confirmed that it was just rubbish. Why So Serious drops a $5 super chat and says snowed in. Oh my God, I wish it was. We have ice storms here in New York. And I wish it was snow for us. He says, should I get Elden Ring? Never played a Souls game, and those games aren't those games hard, dude. Here is the thing. It is not Breath of the Wild meets Souls. It is Souls meets Souls, and it's going to kick your teeth in, and you're going to get frustrated. I like I said, I'm gonna keep at it, but it's hard. The game is definitely hard. We're gonna get into it afterwards. We also have Danny Passion Official drops a $2 super chat. Thanks for the additional super chat, brother. He said, Dreadpool, I'm confused. Game Pass competitor sucks. Yes, it does. Outbreak Podcast drops an outstanding $2 super chat and says, clear value in Game Pass. Sony, not even close. With the eyes looking. And indeed, Drawn TJ, generous friend of the show, he drops a $5 super chat and says, morning, guys. Are the servers working for Elden Ring? It keeps saying that it can't connect. No, they're not. So just play it offline. It's fine. You don't need to collect. It hasn't connected for me not once. And it's fine. You don't necessarily need it. You could just start the game and go. And Pragmatic Eagle, my brother, drops an outstanding $5 super chat and says, FOMO is real. Bad disease. It's how Apple robs their customers. It's how Sony will rob its customers. People these days are afraid to make a stand for what's right because of FOMO against other things. Indeed, brother. Well said. Crispy. Got to bring you in on the conversation. Crazy Lou, I'm going to come to you momentarily.
All right.
Crispy, here's the thing, brother. You and I have had some conversations in DMs. This deal is bad. I don't know how anyone can defend it when you look at what the other guy is doing. And of course, the other guy, meaning Microsoft and Xbox Game Pass, they actually are $1 more for a ridiculous amount of less. What are your thoughts on this outrageous new thing launching for Sony?
There's the argument right there, Boom. You don't even have to go any farther. You don't even get day and date exclusives if you pay $1 more than Game Pass. Let's start right there. That's pretty pathetic. Yeah, you could say inflation, this and that. I think Game Pass is still 15.
So $15.
Yeah,
launched in the summer of 2017, if I'm not mistaken.
And it launched at 10 because they didn't combine them, and then they gave you Ultimate, which was just 15. Which eventually, everybody's just going to end up having that. I mean, and you can go and look at, okay, well, you could say hypothetically Netflix is, at least for its 4K package, is about 18 now.
It's actually 21.
20.
There you go. There you go. So that's the last time I looked at it. Just like Wilmy, I don't keep track of these things, and it's like I would have to go through every single change. Oh, there's that. Oh, there's that. So You can listen to this. I have a membership at Six Flags. Okay, that is a subscription to Six Flags. If you think about it, okay, I pay $8 a month. You know what I'm saying? So these subscriptions, they're there, okay, and some of them are more valuable.
Everywhere, dude.
Some of them are more valuable than others, but I feel like, you know, if you ignore the fact that most of them, if they create first party content, they put that first party content into that subscription immediately. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be a TV show, a video game, whatever it may be. PlayStation's like, no, we're not doing that. We'll give you a free trial. That's the way to go. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, you could say, okay, they're doing the model that EA does. You know what I'm saying? But EA is not a platform holder. They're basically like, oh, well, you know, this game didn't say, let's throw it in Game Pass. That's kind of the way they're doing it now to kind of subsidize what's going on here. And they get a little money from it, I would assume. So it works for them. Okay. But Sony, you want to sell consoles. And nowadays it's like, if you have a really good subscription, I swear to God, if people would easily pay $16 if, you know, that extra dollar, if they said day and date exclusives, they're there. You could even say after 2 months, you could play the game on there. And I think that is at least has value to it. And it might, you know, at least I could say, okay, I could see why people would do that. And, you know, at the end of the day, they do have some very high quality games. So, you know, the dollar wouldn't really mean that much. And I know there's probably people, oh, it's only $1. Yeah, you know what? We look at it this way. We held Xbox to the fire. You know, this is bull, in my opinion. And it's like 3 tiers of nothing. That's what I see. 3 tiers of nothing. And my concern is online multiplayer is highlighted in there. Obviously, this is a leak, so we don't know if it's completely true, but it seems logigical, especially.
Yeah, you know something though. To that point, I'm glad you brought that up because you are absolutely right. This is not officially, you know, a Sony event that they dropped this information. But with that said, if it was Joe and John's mom and pop store around the corner that sells you stuff a week early because they got it off the back of a truck, I can hear that. Jeff Grubb is extremely reputable. And if he puts himself out there almost 10 out of 10 times, he has it on good authority that this, in fact, is happening.
Yeah. And that online multiplayer thing, because can't you not have what do you need to play multiplayer on PlayStation right now?
You need PlayStation Plus. Yes.
Okay. So that's what you need. So they're combining the two and they're charging you more, technically, correct?
Yeah, well, I'm glad you brought that up. Again, you're bringing up some major points. Again, not a mathematician, folks, just a podcaster. But I pay, if the normal folk pay $60 a year for PlayStation Plus Essential, which is the low tier. Just look at the information that's been put out to us. We're not going around corners. We're not doing backroom handshakes. Let's just put it out there and just read what it says. $10 a month for PlayStation Plus Essential gets you cloud saves and gets you the ability to play online and also the free games. That is $10 a month. 10 times 12, again, no mathematician, folks, $120.
Yep.
Let's rewind it a bit. You, Crispy, Fuzzy, I think even Dredd might have been there. We took Microsoft by their Buster Browns and put them to the fire because when they tried to make gold $120 a year, we all went ape shit.
Yep.
And we gave them the business, and within 24 hours, they realized that was wrong, and they fixed it. Now there are people defending this, saying that, oh no, it's the Sony is going to let you pay $60. Well, it doesn't say anywhere that you can, and this is their new program. These are the new prices. This is the newness. They're not going to announce this and say, oh yeah, you know what? Don't worry about the $10 a month because you can still pay $60. No, until they say so, we have to assume that it's $10 a month, which doubles the price. But continue.
So that's where I go and say, you know, this leak could have some fluidity because if you think about it, they're not announcing it, but at the same time, they get to read the room. And if you're defending this right now and if you're good with it, because they're doing the same thing Xbox just got hammered. I mean, and we had people going crazy in the chat, like fighting with each other, and it was just like one of those crazy things. Like, what are we arguing about here? The fact is they're doubling the price on you in a COVID world where I'm paying almost $4 a gallon at times for gas, and you're gonna sit here and be like, that's cool. It is what it is. Okay. No, it's not cool. And I feel bad for those people that are paying like yourself, Boom. Like you just paying the normal, and it's, okay, you go up $5 a year, $10 a year. You don't double the price. That's egregious. That's irresponsible in my opinion. And just completely just saying, hey, you're our consumer. Nah, go screw yourself. We don't care. So you make your own decision, but I ain't paying 120 for both. Like that doesn't work for me. You don't provide me with the multiplayer games and stuff just to say, hey, like you do that. You know what I mean? And you don't give me anything but, I get cloud saves. Oh, I've always had cloud saves, even when I was just on Xbox Live. Okay, so I don't know, man. It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, again, I'm all about numbers. The opinions, like they're like a-holes. Everyone has one, correct? Right? Well, opinions are opinions, and everyone can have different opinions, and we can all agree that we may not all agree, and that's awesome. But numbers don't lie. So all I want to do, and I'm going to bring this to Crazy Lou Gaming next, is bring up these particular numbers. At current information that we have, PlayStation Spartacus or Infinity or whatever you want to call it is $192 a year at the maximum $16 per month. Game Pass is $180. Let's just compare value. Let's compare what's in front of us on the paper versus what we know with Game Pass, and there's no conversation to be had. You defend this, you are a fanboy, and you do not have a place in a conversation because logic is no longer a part of the conversation for you because now you are straight up lying. But please, what is your thought on this, Crazy Lou?
Oh man, just hearing you guys talk about it. I mean, I always paid the yearly PlayStation Plus. I never paid it monthly. And so you guys were talking, it was $10. But I think I read it in the chat. It's $10 per month. So I go search for it. I'm like, oh my god, that is real. Paying $10 a month for it's $60 value for you. That's just crazy. Sony is doing crazy stuff with those numbers. And if they're gonna combine these two services and make you pay $192, like you said, I gotta see what you gotta offer me for me to say, okay, I am going to pay this. I am going to get into this. What are you gonna give me back? Like for example, if I'm gonna pay $192 each year for each exclusive that comes out, are you gonna give me a discount? Let's say a $20 discount, $10 discount, because I'm paying that, Or is there a way that that what Game Pass does? Like if you pay 3 years of gold and just pay one month of Game Pass, I get 3 years, of Game Pass for a price, Is Sony gonna do that for me too? If it's not, I mean, seriously, looking at that, I find it really, really expensive. And also, they gotta give you options. If you don't want to pay for Spartacus, you gotta have your option for Plus or your option for PS Now, if you like to pay for that. So yeah, I totally agree with you guys. I think for now, because we don't know what's going on in the future, but for now, thinking about just the way you guys are saying this, it's incredible how bad that looks. They need to come out and talk about it and tell people, yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, for people to get intrigued into this. And if people defended this and they're defending it because they're like, yeah, I agree, I got to pay it, man, that's bad. I would not defend that. I mean, I protect my pockets a lot, and I do not agree with people saying, yeah, let's defend this. That's just crazy.
I absolutely agree. Dreadpool, let's get you in on the conversation. Listen, money is important for everyone, not just working folk or not working folk. Money is money. And in this world, in a world that we're currently living in, things are going up. Here in New Rochelle, and again, this is just silliness, but I just want to reiterate on how money does make a difference. Cream cheese, which is something that I enjoy on a bagel, right? Well, cream cheese here in New York for a little for an 8-ounce cream cheese, it's almost California prices. It's almost $8 for cream cheese. $8,
Wow. You
right?
priced yourself out of a lot.
$7.89, which is ridiculous. So my point is, everything in the world is going up, and no one is suggesting that that Sony should give away the milk for free if you're not buying the cow. I hear you, but there's also comes a point where you must respect your customers' ability to still be a part of the conversation, and Sony is not offering that. Microsoft is offering that. I want to get your opinion on this pricing structure.
So they price you out of locks, huh?
Good luck with that, pal. Good luck with that.
Yeah, well, there really isn't a bad deal about that. I mean, if you wanted to pay it because, $70 was okay, right? So how about this? You pay $60 for the same game that you would have paid $70 but you're paying the $16 extra. So let's use that logic, right? Because, you only pay for this one time, this $1 once. On Xbox and this and this, it's all this stupid mentality that's going back and forth. That if you want to pay it, feel free, go ahead and pay it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yet again, I have to watch my money. I have a family I got to take care of. I have a house I have to take care of, and like you said, with the prices going up, to each their own. I'm not losing up my house just so I can play a stupid video game or
an old video game for that matter.
Or even that too, yeah. Or justify that, I'm paying the extra $10 so that way the devs will get it, which we all know that's not how business works. Those devs are already paid. The deal is done. Even if it's in-house, that extra $10 doesn't go to them. And even if it did, it wouldn't even be a penny. Okay, so think about how big those corporations are and where the money goes. It doesn't always go like that. But yeah, if you want to do that, fine. But at the same time, I mean, Crispy's already brought out a lot of points I was going to bring out, so I don't need to
you could reiterate on them, brother. Obviously we want your take on the situation, so by all means.
Yeah, well, if you're an idiot, go ahead, go for it. No, but here's the thing, right? We all got together as gamers and complained about Xbox when they came out with the number.
That's correct.
And decided 100%. To go up, right? We all got together. Same thing here. We need to make this valid as like this isn't right. We need to give us something. Granted, I don't have a PS5 right now, so to me it doesn't really affect me.
Right,
however,
correct.
It does affect me in the future when I do get mine, and it does affect me right now in a sense because if I'm trying to get a PS5 and validate why I'm buying this purchase, especially for a console I really didn't care to play for a while. You know what I mean? I got into the PS3 and PS4 stuff. There were certain games that I liked that I want to play, and certain games when I do get the 5, I plan on playing. I'm going to play those PS4 titles and the PS5 titles. I'm going to do it. It's just when. But at the same time, what's the incentive? You know what I mean? You're hiding stuff behind a paywall. There's I don't know, deceptive marketing or deceptive practices. Let's put it that way. And this feels like one of those other deceptive practices.
Dude, please reiterate that. Deceptive practices. That is out of everything everyone has said, and everyone had incredible points, that is something that no one has said, and that's something that Sony is known for, dude.
Yeah. When you can lose your account because you can't cancel your pre-order.
Happened to my brother.
Right? When you I don't know, have to pay $70 because you can't find the PS4 version that was promised as an upgrade even after they said, oh no, well, it's out of the launch title. And then, gamers got together and fixed it, and they still hit it. You know what I mean? So people were, what was it, like 68% still bought the PS5 version?
60, yeah, dude, another fantastic point. That's why we love having you on the show. Folks, you didn't know this. When Horizon Forbidden West launched in the UK, 68%. Listen to this. Listen to what Dreadpool's saying here. This is why this is a hive mentality when it comes to PlayStation stuff. It's scary. 68% of physical sales, people spent the 70 pounds plus for the PlayStation 5 version, even though there was a free upgrade when you bought the PS4 version. See, that's the deceptiveness of Sony, and that's why you couldn't find it. This information was locked behind a 4-inch steel thick door with armed machine guns, so you can't get past. But please continue.
Yeah, I mean, we all had to talk to each other to remind each other. Now figure how many people did not have these kind of accesses like we have. Even us that know better, we're like, where'd it go? What was it? So granted, I'm still speaking in relative terms, not definite terms here. But still, when you have something like that, what are the rest of the parameters? The cloud saves behind a paywall.
Yeah.
And you have to have the higher tier. There's a lot of features that we want them to be their own thing. We want them to not be Game Pass. We want them to be the best that they can be in their version of their Netflix style of gaming, right? Let's not call it Game Pass because it's not. It's supposed to be whatever. It's what do we call it? Infinite.
Yeah.
So
infinite,
whatever.
Yeah.
So that's what we want, but we don't. I don't think this is really the right move for gamers to be backing them. I mean, we should be all yet again getting together and being like, look, why are the cloud saves completely locked behind a paywall? Why is this? Why is that? And this is part of the issue, is that people just accept it and they're willing to pay for it because of branding.
Yeah.
Why?
Dude, I wish I knew, because some of the things I saw on the socials last night were just head scratching. Like, but it's not Game Pass. It's their own way of doing things, and they can't offer day and date because they can't. They're going to go out of business. Some of the stuff I saw was just so ridiculous. I wish I had an answer for you, Dreadpool. All I can say is, listen. Do the mathematics for what suits you. I'm not going to suggest that anyone that does pay for this is a boo. Listen, you spend your money how you want to spend. I'm not a pocket watcher, and I'm not a hater. If you love Sony and you want to give them money, go on, give them the money. I'm just saying, let's not give them the business that they deserve when they are selling you old stuff in a new package. Recycled garbage put into a nice pretty box with a bowl and saying, hey, this is new.
It's regifting.
It's regifting. You know what even it is?
It's the fruitcake of games.
Yeah, yes. Do not fall for the banana in the tailpipe. And if you are a Beverly Hills Cop fan, and I'm old, some people in the chat are like, I don't even know what the hell this kid's talking about. They don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. That's all I'm going to say. And that's what they're trying to do to you. It's egregious. It is. It's insulting to anyone that has supported Sony, and I know there's people like, but you're an Xbot. Boom, you got an X show. You have 2 X shows. I also have more PlayStation stuff than 90% of the people. I still support PSVR. I have a ridiculous physical collection of Sony stuff. So it's not a fanboy antics that we're having here. We're having grown adult conversations about something that's super important in the real world, and that's money. And don't let Sony take your money and try and sell you the old stuff with a new price tag, because you shouldn't fall for that. But with that said,
think about it though. Nobody plays old games, so you're gonna hide behind the highest tier.
Oh, wait a
right?
second now. You're kind of bringing up some really good stuff here, because remember, Jim Ryan says no one plays old games. I remember that conversation.
But it's behind the biggest tier for the paywall.
There you go.
Huh. Okay.
Interesting.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Boom. I'm sorry.
No. I like when the receipts are pulled on live on the air, because what that does is shuts down a narrative, which is ridiculous. But look, real quick, Drawn TJ, generous friend of the program, he drops an additional $5 super chat and says, the graphics in Elden Ring are not that amazing. Assassin's Creed Valhalla has better graphics than Elden Ring, and Elden Ring is okay. Yes, he is correct in saying so. Elden Ring's graphics are pretty much what you would expect from a Souls game. A lot of greens, a lot of browns, a lot of very, very familiar color palette. nuts. Now, I'm not going to sit here and suggest that the open world isn't gorgeous. It is. Is it Horizon Forbidden West gorgeous? Not by a country mile, folks. It's good. It's passable. It is not the greatest thing since sliced bread. I would say that the sliced bread award goes to Horizon Forbidden West. That game is freaking gorgeous, and it's your typical Sony game. Unfortunately, it's got some bugs, and that's here nor there. The game is gorgeous nonetheless. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, gorgeous looking game. Certainly, I think honestly, one ups Elden Ring. Elden Ring is Souls. That's
I
what
think
it
I,
is.
th- I think I think Elden Ring is not well optimized yet to the newer consoles. I think it's still working on the older consoles, and I think they're gonna put they're gonna put a patch for it pretty soon.
Yeah, listen, I'm sure it's going to be it's going to be beautied up, if so to speak. But we also have Black Helmet Man drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, "Did I miss it, or were PlayStation games not listed on any tier of this so-called service?" No, you didn't miss anything, brother. Black Helmet Man, first of all, thank you for being here. Thank you for the generosity. And no, unfortunately, PlayStation 5 games are not a part of the conversation, and certainly Day and Date is nowhere to be found. Even though people suggest that that's going to be a thing at some point, and until Sony says so, and they're not going to, it is not a thing. But let's move on to the second topic of the show, and of course, folks, we're going to be talking about Elden Ring. I'm going to bring Elden Ring gameplay now, real quick, just to give everyone a heads up. This is Bandai Namco gameplay that I'm using. It is not Boomstick. I suck. I stayed up till 2:00 in the morning recording footage on my new Elgato, and it took a shit on me, and the footage is nowhere to be found. So I had to scramble and had to put a quick thing of gameplay and gameplay trailers. I'm gonna return my Elgato, my expensive one, and get a new one, and then I'll be back to bring in the footage of some of the newer games very soon. But I want to move over to that footage because it is quite impressive, and whoever is playing as this character you'll see in front of you is quite good. And it's just FYI, it's not Boom. I'm here to tell you. But listen, we got to talk about the hottest game that released in 2022. Obviously, Bandai Namco is publishing, and it's being made by From Software. As it stands right now, ladies and gentlemen, as of this morning's show, it has received 40 plus perfect scores. 40. I don't know if it has beat Breath of the Wild. I think it might have. It is. People are calling it the best Metacritic reviewed game. Now, a lot of people look at this with some side eyes. It's a little sus because there's some issues with it, performance-wise. It's not running the best, but everyone that has played it and the people that have given it 10s have given incredible reasons. Now, I'm going to give you my experience, and I'm going to get into the panels and see what they're saying. The way that this was pitched, if you just look at the game, it does very much resemble a Souls game, which it is. The difficulty spike, it's there. But it was being called Breath of the Wild meets Souls. And I'm here to tell you that it's very much Souls meets Souls. You ride around on a horse. It is open world. There is some RPG elements to it. You do, kill creatures, and you get XP, and you level up your strength and your vitality and everything else. The menus, the menu system it's very hard to learn. This is a game that if you're not familiar with From Software games, you're going to feel lost. I kind of feel a little lost. I'm not going to front. It's a lot to undertake. I didn't even know how to drink the potions until I died. And I was getting killed. And I'm like, how do I use the effing potion? And I died. And I'm like, okay, let me go back to the start. And before I get into another fight, let me use a potion. Oh, that's how you do it. Like I said, jokes aside, I had to go to YouTube to find out how to summon the horse, even though they told me how to summon the horse. It was so quick. I'm like, I didn't even know how to put the horse in a quick use, which is ridiculous. So there is a huge learning curve here. I think that if you are a huge Souls fan, Game of the Year 2022 already for you, no questions asked. If you are someone like me who really doesn't dabble in the Souls, this is going to be this might be a tough sale for you. For me, like I said, the game was gifted to me, which is extremely generous. um and I'm going to see it through, because to be honest with you, I kind of want to be in the Souls conversation, but the game is hard. It is the world is massive. I did fight. I did find one demigod boss. It was a smaller one. He beat me 9 times before on the 10th attempt I got him. On the 9th attempt, I had him almost one hit. He would have been done. It was like one hit versus one hit. If he hit me, I lost. If I hit him, he would have lost. Unfortunately, he hit me. But on the 10th time, I finally beat him, and I beat him, because I learned the pattern, and I beat him. I beat the hell out of him, as opposed to him destroying me the first time. A couple of times I fought him. Wilmy, I know you're on a call. I don't know if you're back yet, so we're going to come back to you on the back end. Fuzzy, let's get your opinion on this, brother.
Mm-hmm.
This game has taken the world by storm.
Oh, yeah.
Again, maybe it's not Breath of the Wild, good looking, or even Horizon Forbidden West good looking, but the game has received 40 plus 10 scores. That's not easy to do in this era of journalism and gaming. And these aren't, like I said, the scores that are coming in. There are some sites that I've never heard of. That doesn't make them any relevant, but they are some of the bigger sites. Windows 10 out of 10. Well, actually 5 stars, which is a 10 out of 10. Some of the bigger publications are, giving this thing, extremely high praise. Some of which are Souls players. What has been your experience so far?
Well, it definitely deserves to be in the Game of the Year conversation for later on this year. Although there are plenty of games that are possibly going to be on that list as well. Some of them in the next couple of months, as far as like Plague's Tale and stuff like that. But for someone that doesn't normally play Souls games, I've tried a few like knockoffs like Surge and Surge 2 and stuff like that, and it's more frustrating. Like there are times where it's like, oh yeah, I can get into the rhythm. I've got the pattern down, and then you get to that one boss, you keep on getting killed, and you wind up going back, and it's like the ads that you would get to before that boss are now starting to kill you because you're trying to rush to get back to the boss type of thing. So I haven't dived into this. This is one of those I'm going to kind of play the wait and see, just because I know with my frustration level, I don't want to break any controllers. I've probably done a little bit too much of that in the past. So hearing that it's like probably the most accessible of the Dark Souls type titles, like you don't have to take everything head on. You can, with it being open world, there are different approaches, different avenues, different ways of going about the map and discovering different things. So that open world aspect of it is definitely appealing. Although I'm caught in between 2 open world games now with Dying Light and Horizon Forbidden West. But yeah, for right now, it's kind of a wait. I want to see how the co-op works for some people, because a lot of people are like, yeah, just put me in your backpack and carry me through this type of thing. And I'm probably going to be one of those that needs that as well. But yeah, the visual, yeah, it may not be like on Breath of the Wild level and stuff like that, but it is still pretty interesting. And the overall like mechanics and combat of it look appealing. But just hearing that Dark Souls, it's kind of like, not really gun shy of it, but kind of. And it's just one of those things I'm probably going to try to at least get through either Breath of the Wild, Horizon Forbidden West, or Dying Light before I take on another open world game. But it's definitely a cool looking game, just not for me at this current minute. But yeah, I'll probably wind up picking it up here at some point.
What I don't understand is, why do you guys find it so hard? Those games are so easy.
Okay. For me, it's
good
always
on you, brother.
Recognizing the pattern. Like, there are times where I'm playing distracted, so I'm up there playing, talking to my wife, and she's up there watching me, and it's like she'll say something, and it's like, oh yeah, I just fell off a cliff because the guy just one hit me or something like that. So there are a lot of times where there's outside stuff going on that it's like I don't want to deal with that and get frustrated at the game and stuff like that. But
I get you.
But at some point, I'll be able to get into it and make some headway as opposed to breaking the controller.
See, the thing is, some of us gamers, old timers, right? Mm-hmm. We didn't have saves. You only had 3 lives, and you make it to the end. So we're already done playing these Soul-like games from way back in the day.
Oh, you remember Ninja Gaiden? Oh my god!
What are you talking about, Ninja Gaiden? I'm talking about Ghouls and Ghosts.
Ghosts and Goblins! Yeah. Oh my god! Let's not talk about that. No.
I said old school gamers. Okay, yes. The original OG gamers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man!
I fought a dude on a horse like this, and he beat the balls off me. I was on a horse too. I thought I could take him. Mm-hmm. And that's the other thing. I got the ability, or at least they told me I had the ability to make these summons. I have no idea how to do it. Literally, I've seen people summon wolves and samurais, which there's a lot of classes. I picked the samurai class because I just love samurai, and he is a bit of a tank. The movement is. I'll put it to this way: if you played Sekiro was very fast. Right, it was a very fast game. If you played Bloodborne, it was another one. Very Souls for sure, but very fast. This is not that. This is very much a Souls, a lethargic kind of. You move it at a decent pace, but it is a little bit lethargic when it comes to rolling around and stuff. Now that could be because of my armor or whatever, but it is. It is a bit lethargic. But listen, again. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep at it. I'm enjoying myself. I'm just dying quite a bit.
I'll give you a couple of tips.
Yeah. Absolutely. But you know what, Crispy Bomb, let's bring you in on the conversation. Again, I don't know if this is going to be a game for you. I don't think it is. But I mean, what are your thoughts on 40 plus outlets, giving it a 10 out of 10?
Like we couldn't see that coming. I mean, FromSoft's pretty good about that. They managed to get some really high scores. I do challenge the fact that I feel like it's like a pass off game. It's like, oh, you like the game, okay, you review it, because it probably there's a lot of people like me that are just like, I don't want to review that. I'm gonna hate the game. I'm gonna break a controller. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna regret. Like for me, I don't want to purchase something that I'm gonna regret later and be like, I got through a quarter of it and I don't even want to touch it ever again. You know what I mean? Like maybe when it's like $20, maybe I'll maybe I'll do that. The co-op aspect that might be a little interesting. Bring somebody way better than me in there, and you can help me out there. But no, I don't. I'm not into these type of games. Good on you if you're good at them. The get good comments though, I laugh at because I see all these people that play these single player games. They're like, yeah, I'm the greatest in the world. I'm like, I don't see you beating anybody in multiplayer, bro. I'm just saying.
Definitely two. It's certainly two different oceans for sure.
Yeah. Don't give get good comments to people that are good at other games because that doesn't make sense. Because then when you're trashing that game they like, you're being an oxymoron of your own doing because you did that. So those get good comments. The only thing I say, like, I feel like this game, these type of games could have a story or an easy mode, which not necessarily for somebody like me would be easy. You know what I'm saying? And you could also, it's the good old, easy, medium, hard. I mean, you could do that. Medium is what it's always been.
Something. Well, here's a good comparison. Again, folks, just an opinion, not 1-to-1. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order on a hard difficulty was as hard as a Souls game. You're fighting with lightsabers. See, now that's not how I played. I played on the story mode. I'm not ashamed to say it. Something, I got every achievement, every achievement but one, right? But you know what? Some of the challenges that I had, they were tough enough where I did die quite often, but I enjoyed the story element. I got a chance to really sit back and take in the world of Star Wars with all of these new characters. And it didn't, me playing it on the story mode didn't change Mr. Badbits, for instance, who's a friend of the program, obviously voice of Trophy Room. He's really good at these Souls games. He's freaking excellent, I would dare say. And he played, and he's a huge Star Wars buff. He played it the way he would play a Souls game, and he had an incredible time doing so. Right? Look, you see how you summon skeletons. I have no idea how to do that, but eventually I will. But my point is that him and I played two different difficulties, and we both came out of it saying, "Man, this was an incredible Star Wars game." And I get the argument. People will be like, "But don't put your peanut butter in my chocolate." I hear you, but you know something? It's okay to offer someone that normally can't play these games because they don't have the skills to enjoy potentially and become a customer. And again, I hear people, oh, well, it's a niche brand or whatever. It doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
It can offer the hard challenge, which is what I'm dealing with, and also offer a story mode that still has a challenge to it, but it gives a player like myself who is not a Souls guy an opportunity to enjoy the game. But please continue, Chris.
Well, and then you can go a step further, and if you're like a huge, you're just so nasty. You could, I've heard of people speed running these games. Okay, if you're on that level, give them a harder one, give them a harder difficulty. It's one of those things. Like, you could have the 3 tiers. The middle is like super hard, and the easy is going to be hard for anybody that's jumping right in. But somebody that's godlike in these games would probably enjoy having a bigger challenge because that's just their jam. And you can really have this balance of, people will be like, yeah, did you beat it on hard? Huh? Did you do that? So, it could be one of those things where it's like, it's a huge challenge for people that love these games. But, I digress. It is what it is. But, I don't understand why they haven't at least thought about it. I feel like they just refuse. And it's like, I get it. Like, you have this brand that is special to you, and this is the way it is. But I don't know, man. Like, it's something like, you look at the scores, you look at people's reaction, and you're like, but dude, I don't think I would enjoy this game for what it should be enjoyed in my view. What I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I mean, it makes perfect sense. And again, I say this, and the t-shirts are coming, folks. Not every game is for every gamer, but I would like to see. Look, here's the thing. They're very bullish. And I say they, From Software, in presenting their vision of their game. Their game is meant to a subset community that is considered to be the hardcore. And I'm not going to argue that. I'm just saying that it would be pretty cool if they went out and they bucked tradition just to see if the fan base would potentially grow. Like, you normally, hey, listen, folks, we heard you. This is the first time we're doing it. This is a trial. It's not going to be every time. We want to see how the people respond. Now, if they turn around and bring out a new game in the Soul series and they offer a story mode and no one comes to the table, well, then there's your answer. Then they don't have to do it for the second time around because people are not responding. They're like, yeah, Souls, it's not for me. And they go back to doing business as usual. Whereas if you never do it, you don't know if you're going to have this a new audience come to your game. Let's bring in Crazy Lou Gaming here. Crazy Lou, you obviously are a fan of these games.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. And you're probably pretty good at them based on some of the comments you've made so far. I know that you haven't played the game, but I know you can at least speak on the conversation that always seems to come and rage on the socials, and that is, should a story mode be added to a game like Elden Ring, like Sekiro, like Dark Souls Remastered? What is your opinion on that?
There's something that Souls games do lack, and that's like a story. Like You mean story mode as you mean as an easy? You mean like an easy game?
Well, not easy because story modes just allow for the, let's say, the bosses to not hit as hard.
Oh, okay. No, okay, yeah. It should have one. They should have that option for people who are not, that into that hard stuff. Because I'm gonna say something. This game, in order to play, you gotta have patience. That's the number one key. If you're having a bad day, do not come and play this game because you're gonna break controllers. You're gonna be mad. It's gonna be crazy mad. Yeah. Another thing, though, this is my number one tip, especially for people who are playing this game. I run around naked in the game. That's what I do. I throw off the armor, and
that's not surprising. I've seen some of your videos.
Well, who thought that, right?
But that's what I do. I run around naked. I throw the armor off, and I run around naked. Or if not, I get a really, really light armor because it's gonna help me out with a lot of the moves. Because here's the thing, though. After watching all this gameplay and stuff, look, all these guys are big.
Yeah.
And the faster you move, it's going to be harder for them to get you and hit you. But you got to watch out, though, because when they hit you, even though you got the light armor, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt really bad. But, yeah, they should have a mode for people, like, to sit down and have it easy, a bit challenging. But, yeah, you got to learn how to run around this game. And like I said, you got to wear light armor. You got to or run around without clothes, because that's what I did on Dark Souls 3. I remember I was in an Xbox chat. And this dude said, "Hey, I play around in my underwear." I was like, "You play around in your underwear? What do you mean?" And he showed me a clip, and I was like, "Whoa, that is fast!" And that's when I learned that, you actually get a really light armor just to play around in the game, and the game became super easy because I went behind the enemies. What's that thing called when you that hit mark that comes out like a little red dot?
Oh, the stealth kills that you do?
The critical hit when you come up behind.
The critical hits. It became more visible for me to do critical hits a lot more easy because I was way more lighter, way more faster, and so it made the game really easy. For me, the hardest game I played was Sekiro because that one you had a counter right there, and when you come to Souls games, the best thing is just to be really light and just run around them. And also,
I do agree with that too, dude, because that's what I was doing last night at 3 a.m.
Yeah, what you do? You put on some light armor, or not? Hello.
He was saying he was running around naked.
Nude. Oh, okay, nude. Yeah, that's the thing.
No, in the game, Dread. Don't take that word. But listen to you, jeez.
Yeah, when you were running around nude, do you see how easy it became to attack and more?
Faster? And to kind of piggyback on what you're saying, if you don't mind, one thing. I've never been in these games either, and I played the last Dark Souls game. It's on PS3, the original.
Yes.
I really got to the point where I hated it, but the combat in this one actually, to me, makes sense. Yep. Like what Lou's saying, if you learn what you're doing, you take the patience to learn how to attack and to dodge, it's a lot easier game. You're not going to charge in. You're not Master Chief.
Yep.
You don't want to charge in there, guns blazing, because you're going to get wasted.
Yes.
Fast.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And
you
my first encounter.
I would even dare say, Wilmy, you cannot play this like a hack and slash.
Yep. Oh God, no. My first encounter, dude, I got my ass handed to me like 7 times by this dude. And we were in a cave. I can't remember his name.
Yes, the guy's name was Beastmaster something or other.
Yeah,
he had that big blade that he would jump down on you. That he would try.
Yeah, he wasted me, dude.
I got
you dick.
Yeah.
But I kept going back, and it's funny for me because I'm seeing a lot of guys in the chat, and I agree with the guys in the chat too. If the game's not for you, it's not going to be for you. But I remember, games always used to be hard. We didn't have multiple save points and all this stuff. When you beat a game in the, some of the old school games in the 80s and early 90s, you did it out of sheer spite. Mm-hmm. And I know we have all spite finished a video game at some point in our lives because you hated that game so badly or that boss so badly that you learned how to take down that boss and you felt like you accomplished something.
Oh, dude, when I finally beat him after the 10th time, I actually got excited. Like, I had goosebumps. I'm like, yeah, you mother... You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, and it's funny you say that, Boom, because about 3:15 in the morning, I took down one boss, and I was in the living room, and of course my wife was in bed, down the hallway in her bedroom, and I went, yes, and I heard her go, Michael, what the hell was that? And I was like, oh, sorry, dear, sorry. I got excited.
That's great.
But I mean, it gives you a sense of accomplishment. And you do have to learn how you're going to attack. You have to be tactical about it. And I think, and I'm going to take, the stance of some of the people in the chat. Most games, I hate to say it, have gotten so super easy to complete. Yes. And we've all gotten kind of complacent and really used to it. I played through the story mode of Halo Infinite twice. There are a lot of spots for Halo that, I mean, it does make it super easy to do the campaign, no matter what difficulty you're playing on. And I don't care what difficulty people play on what makes you feel better.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing with that is, man, this game dug its claws into me within the first hour because I had to learn how to play it.
Yep.
It's not something you're just going to turn on and you're just going to run through the world like a big badass, because it's not going to happen.
No, it will snub you out at any like, see the guy on the horse, that guy right there. I ran into him by accident. I was riding the mount and I saw him. I didn't think he saw me, so I went running. I tried to get out of the way, and he just destroyed.
Oh yeah, some of them you're not getting away, dude. They know you're there. And
it's funny because I was chased around the building. It was something like out of a comedy. I was running around the building, and I didn't know how to use my health potion. And I'm like, my God, how do I use it? It turns out that I wound up having to press X to drink the effing thing. And yes, I got destroyed.
Next time,
that's the beauty of it.
Yeah. I mean, next time, cue up the Keystone Cop music.
Oh, dude, it was pretty much like that. It was embarrassing. It was almost embarrassing. And it's funny. It was recorded footage that somehow is no longer available, which is why my Elgato's really taking a dump. But yeah, that's what I'm saying anyway. There you go. There you go.
No, but seriously, take away on this, man. You just got to learn how to play.
Yeah, you got to know how to play. I mean, you can't just run in there like, hey, I'm the man. You can wear the best armor, the hardest armor, but man, either way, they hit you and they're gonna hit you hard. I mean, wow. And and also you're gonna die plenty of times. It's not like you're gonna run in there and be like, okay, I'm gonna take this guy once down. No, you're gonna die plenty of times because you're gonna learn their attacks. You gotta learn what they're gonna do, how they move. So when you go in there, like the 5th or 6th time, you already know what's gonna happen. You already know their combinations. Sometimes they switch it, but you already know how they're gonna play. So yeah, it's not that hard. You just gotta sit down and just like what I put on Twitter the other day. People like saying, "Oh, this is hard." I just said, "Hey, look, remember, woo-sa, just rub your ears, woo-sa, be patient."
Yeah, I love it. Rub the ears. I love it.
Be like woo-sa,
That's awesome. Real quick, Drawn TJ drops a $2 super chat and says, "How do you access your mount?" Well, in order to get it, you have to sit through a cutscene. So as soon as you come out of where you first start, you're going to come to a church, right? And you're going to find your guardian light there where you can save. Hit it again to take a rest, and it's going to activate a cutscene. See, I didn't do that. I went right from there, saved it, bought a few arrows, and then went for the next 2.5 hours troping through the world, getting killed a gazillion times. And when I finally beat the boss in the cave with the wolves, I came back, I sat down because I wanted to save it again, and then the cutscene started, and basically she says, "Oh, here you go. This is your mount. He's already picked you, whatever." So in my mind, because it's 2:19 something in the morning, and I don't want to wake up Mrs. Boom, I'm saying to myself, so what you're effing telling me is that 2.5 effing hours ago I could have had a effing horse. That's what you're saying. And that's exactly what happened. But let's get Treadpool's opinion on this, and we'll bring Wilmy Hood on the back end, and then I think we're going to talk about because it looks like we have a little time. I want to bring in get everyone's opinion on yesterday's other big grub announcement, and that is the fact that Obsidian is going to be making or in talks to make Fallout New Vegas 2, which I don't know about you folks. Fallout Vegas for me is the best Fallout ever made, but that is debatable. Dreadpool, what's your opinion on this, brother? On Elden Ring, is it a game that is in your wheelhouse?
Well, let's see. I'm the old school Rambo, Commando,
Ghosts and
Chuck
Goblins.
Norris type of let's run and gun and just get our ass in there and beat some, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say it like that this early in the morning. Sorry, guys. But, yeah, let's go in there and, kick some tushies.
Yes.
That doesn't sound as cool as saying ass. But okay.
Yeah, the other way is much better, but it's okay.
Yeah. So anyway, but that's the way I play. So I'm happy that people are happy that they love this game. I'm happy that new people like Wilmy are getting into this game and seeing how to play differently. You know what I mean? And that's the beauty of this. We've always said it before. Not every game is for everybody, and my whole thing is let the devs be the artists that they are and make the game that they want to make. Should they open it up for everybody else to also have access? Yes, it would be nice, but I don't think forcing it upon them is also a thing that we need to do. So I think we need to voice our opinions properly and critique it properly and request, and you see right now, this is probably the most accessible Souls-like game that they've ever made. Even, so when you look at it like that, I'm not a technical type of combat guy like that. Like I said, I just want to go in, do a few strikes, back off, and come back around the side. But I don't do it like waiting for somebody to do their move and then finding out when I should go in. I just run and gun. You know what I mean? So I know I'm being a little bit vague about it, but that's how I am. I like to go down, have enjoyment on playing the games. I've tried Dark Souls games and I just can't. I just don't have the patience. I don't have the time. I don't have the mentality for it.
Yeah,
that's
fine.
Right, and
but
that's
you
what I'm
realize
trying to get
at.
at.
It's not for you.
Correct, and that's what I'm trying to get at. And people looking down like that, like this game needs to be this way for me because I want to enjoy it. I want to play it too. Well, sorry for your FOMO, but at the same time, the other side, you got to get good. Well, you know what? Some people just can't get good.
Yeah, that's
a
reality.
We have friends in the community that no matter how bad you play, you're still playing better than they are. And they're playing at their peak performance. So this is why I say that there needs to be a balance there somewhere. We, as a community, as developers, as just overall, figure out that balance. And it sucks to say, what, if this game isn't for you, it's not for you. Just move on. But that's where we have to be more open-minded, for the dev side to make it, an easy mode or a story mode, because them doing that doesn't take anything away from you from beating it on the hardest difficulty that you love, right? I play Halo on Veteran all the time, except this one, because I have to go through there and unlock all the skulls so I can do the achievements for that. But I'm playing on Heroic. But I'm not going to sit there and down anybody for playing it on easy and enjoying the game. You know what I mean? And that's part of the other issue that I see, regardless of it being this game. There's people that look down on other people for this. This is why I don't want easy mode. It doesn't take anything away from you. So they beat it, and they beat it on easy.
Dude.
You know what I mean? And this game looks beautiful. It might not look pristine like certain other games that people are envisioning, whatever. Just enjoy the game. I'm happy that you guys are enjoying it. And like I said, Wilmy's enjoying it. And this is not Wilmy's type of game. He's already said it. And he's actually enjoying it and giving out pointers. So for someone that doesn't play this type of game, and this is what we should be doing, is sharing these games. Sharing this out. How many times have we said it before? Share this out to everybody. Share what you love. You know what?
Yep.
This wasn't my game, but I tried it out and I loved it. Hey, Wilmy, remember Martha is Dead?
Yeah, Martha is dead too, trust me.
Exactly. But that's the whole thing. It was supposed to be a great game. We find out that it's for us, most of us.
The face rip off was that
was the best.
right there.
But that's the whole thing. Some people like reading They're games. I don't know why, but some people like having that story where they just read.
Yeah.
And this is not one of those stories. This is a tactical game in a different way of tactics. Sifu, yet again, an awesome looking fighter, cool story, cool everything, but it's a tactical fighter. You have to play its way, and that's what people forget. Like this game here, you have to play how they want you to play. And if you're closed-minded and don't want to be flexible like that, and that's kind of like how I am. I'm not flexible when it comes to stuff like this. I know it's not for me. I'll stay away. But guess what? Crazy Lou said, hey, you know what? You're having issues? Play it like this.
Yeah.
Yet again, I'm hearing Wilmy saying, hey, you know what? Not my type of game. I'm playing it like this too. You know, I'm actually enjoying it. Guess what? I'm actually thinking about it now. I'm thinking about it more because of people in the community talking good about it, not saying, oh my God, it's a 10. Well, I don't care it's a 10.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean nothing to me. Is it fun? Is it going to be enjoyable? Is it something that I can get into?
I put it to this way. This is an interesting conversation for me because, like I said, folks, I fully admit I'm not a Souls guy. The whole time we're sitting here and we're doing the show and there's 350 people here, which of course is amazing on a Friday morning, and I'm watching the footage that's not mine. I honestly can't wait to get on the couch and play. Even though I know I'm going to get my teeth kicked in, I'm going to figure out a way to, and again, you know, real quick, let me just shout out two people. First, Silent Cypher, who's been a member for 5 months of Here Comes the Boom, says, good morning, Boom and panel, including my brother, Crazy Lou. My internet connection is almost non-existent. Sorry to hear that, dude, but wanted to stop by and say thanks. Well, dude, thank you, brother, for being here. And of course, thank you for the comment. Kay Asante says something very interesting. He and I were talking about this morning. He says, love the convos, gents, after dropping a $5 super chat. Says, my issue with Souls games isn't the difficulty, it's the game language and UI. They work against the enjoyment of the game, and he is absolutely correct, because I've gone around the world and my backpack is packed with all kinds of things. I found bones and I have no idea what to do with all of this. I have flowers all over the place. I have no idea how to make potions, how to make arrows, or because they don't tell you. This is a lot of it is trial and error. And again, I'll figure it out eventually. I'll watch a couple of guides, but you know, again, this if you don't have the patience, more importantly, if you don't have the time, if your current lifetime doesn't allow for 2.5 hours of being on the same boss, then this game certainly isn't for you. And maybe it comes in the Game Pass at some point. Maybe it drops down to $20 in a couple of months. Who's to say? Maybe that's when you jump in. But I do want to get Wilmy Hood's opinion on this. Wilmy, you are really enjoying the game, and you are, like myself, not a quote-unquote Souls guy. Why are you enjoying it?
Can I give out one last tip before?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. One last tip. Language. Play it in your own language. Don't play like, oh, let me listen to the original dialogue, Japanese stuff. Don't do that, because that's the trick in the game. They want you to play it in Japanese with subtitles, so when you're in the boss fight, the boss talks to you a lot, and you're going to be reading it because he's going to get you too. Put it in your own language, okay?
Yes.
Yeah. That happened to me.
Well, it sounds like Dark Souls just took him out.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. Dark Souls says, how dare you give away our trade secret? He
caught him in his underwear, didn't they?
And one inch over, he would have been picking his nose for like the next 5 minutes.
I love it. This is great. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Wilmy Hood, let's get your opinion on this, brother. Why are you enjoying the game so much?
You know, at first I wondered to myself, maybe I thought I was just, maybe I thought it was an age thing. I just like being, tortured. But to be honest, I think maybe it struck something in me I haven't played in a while.
Okay.
Because I'm a big shooter guy. I've played my fair share of shooters. I'm into all these, crazy, scary horror games. It scratched sort of an itch for me that I haven't had in a while, I guess. But yeah, I mean, the world, I'm really enjoying it. I don't really care that there's not much of a story. I'm just enjoying trying to learn how to play it. And I think this is one of those games where you're going to learn the entire time you're playing it. That's my biggest thing with it right now at the moment. I'm enjoying the combat. To me, it feels smart. because you have to plan every attack. Because if not, you're not going to survive it. And I think that's the biggest thing for me. And the world looks great. And I've seen people say, well, it doesn't look that good. I've got it on Xbox and I got it on my PC. Both look great. So I don't know, man. It kind of sucked me in the first hour. I figured this was going to be a game I bought because I buy a lot of games and never play them more than 30 minutes. I thought this would be another one of those. But last night definitely proved me wrong. After 4.5 hours into it, I was like, yeah, okay, well, this isn't another Martha's Dead. Not by a long shot.
Nope.
And I don't know. And I guess just the settings and everything else, too, kind of, you're not getting me this time, dude. Sorry, that phone started ringing again. But,
that's all right.
You know, it just was one of those games that struck with me. The environment I kind of liked. I liked the characters. So it just, I don't know. And I'll keep playing it and I'll keep torturing myself because I don't know. It's something different.
Well, listen, you know what? You never know when a game is going to grab you and it's going to make you a fan. And obviously, here you are. You're talking about a game that you're not normally a Souls guy, quote unquote.
Not even close.
And you're enjoying it. And that's what gaming's great. Like I said, I just learned something. They showed a part where you're like in this encampment where there's a bunch of bad guys and those big cart things, which I just walked right past. I didn't realize they held treasure chests. So now
I didn't either, and I just noticed that too. Boom.
I'm gonna go back because I'm close to that area, and I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna see if I can, because I took out everyone in that encampment except for the one guy with the big shield, and he just killed me, and I was like, God damn it! But anyway, listen. Arigato Sir drops a very generous $10 super chat and says people need to realize that these games can be as hard as you want them to be. There's already guided on how to basically opt in for Elden Ring in 30 minutes. Heck, a guy with one arm literally beat Dark Souls 3, and some people have the skills like that, and that is pretty impressive. But again, you know, it's a conversation that's going to continue to happen. I still think that a story mode is something that should be at least tried out. I'm not saying it should become the norm because you know you get, but let's not forget. And I'm going to try and be as graceful with this comment as possible. A lot of Souls people are effing snobs. Okay, they put their nose real high in the air, and it's like, F everyone else if you can't do it. I get it. That's your opinion. You're absolutely entitled to it. But to me, I think when you talk about being inclusive and wanting new people to experience your games, and I say this from a monetary point of view, let's just say that this game cost $100 million to make, right? And let's just say for shits and giggles, they sell 5 million copies. Well, 5 million copies isn't going to recoup the $100 million plus it costs to make the game, and we're not even talking about the advertising for it. So if you're okay with if the people on the board are okay coming up short because they're not making the game more inclusive, then I guess it's okay because they're the board. I just think that when you paint yourself into a corner, you take away the ability to attract new fans. Now, this game, because it's receiving such high praise and because it's the talk of the town, it is going to sell very well. I think it's going to break all kinds of records for a Souls-like game because the diehard people are going to enjoy it. New people are going to come and say, should I buy it? They're going to see their friends playing it. They're going to give it a shot. This is going to be heavily traded in if you buy physical or potentially even returned on your digital platform of choice, except for Sony, because Sony doesn't give refunds. But look, enough of it. You've heard our opinions on it. I think everyone has been really forthcoming in giving their opinion without being too finger pointy. We only have about 20 minutes left of the show. What I would like to do is dedicate this to the information that Jeffy Grub, friend of this program, and someone that is going to be a guest on my new live program, X-Vlog Live. That's something that I launched this Thursday. If you missed it, I had Jez Corden of Windows Central on. We sat down for about 75 minutes and we talked about everything from Street Fighter 6 being exclusive to PlayStation to where are Microsoft's release dates for their first party. It's on video demand if you want to check that out. Next week, I have Randall Thor 19 joining me. The week after that, Miles Dompierre is going to be joining us. The week after that, it's King David. And that following week is going to be Jeff Grubb. So the next 4 weeks of guests are all prominent people. That is a new show, X-Vlog Live, one-on-ones with me and some of the industry and community's absolute finest. That's Thursdays at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you missed yesterday's show, definitely go check that out. But Jeff Grubb, speak of the devil, he dropped a monster bomb yesterday that one of the Fallout games that is a cult classic, loved by many, in Fallout New Vegas, is apparently getting a sequel in the form of Obsidian, who made the original one. Depending on who you ask, some people consider that to be the creme de la creme. Others say it's Fallout 3. For me, as much as I enjoyed Fallout 3, New Vegas was incredible. And the fact that we're going to get a sequel by its original developer with all the money in the world to make this the greatest sequel of sequels has me very excited. And I'll run quickly through the panel. We'll start first with Fuzzy Belvedere. Fuzzy, when you heard Jeff Grubb drop this, who is a very trusted source, what are your thoughts on the revival of Fallout New Vegas?
It was funny. It was kind of like one of those dream scenarios when once they acquired Bethesda, it was kind of like a few of us were talking in the background, like, what would be awesome is if they actually, work together now that they're both under the same family, kind of revive that and work together on bringing a like New Vegas 2 type of deal. I'm happy to hear that, even though it's early talks, I'm happy to hear. Although, given how Obsidian, how busy they're going to be, because I think they have something like 7 games for the next 7 years or something.
Yeah, they're very busy. Yeah,
I'm hoping this is included in that because I don't want them, too overwhelmed. Because I want what do you call them? Outer Worlds 2 to be as awesome as the first one, if not better, type of deal. But man, it's great that they're going after kind of like, I wouldn't really say it's fan service, but it's almost like things that people would love to see. Almost like if you could have like a at some point, kind of like I think you've mentioned in the past, like a Doom Halo crossover or something like that type of deal. But Obsidian and Bethesda working together, working on a New Vegas 2. I'm all for it.
Hell yeah, dude.
So I'm so glad that it's even an actual thing in existence type of deal. So I can't wait to hear more about it. And maybe that's something that we'll hear more about, maybe not this E3-ish time, but E3-ish time next year, like next summer or something, hopefully.
Look, I'll take the fact that, like you said, it's a conversation that's being had. How much in pre-production is this? Well, he said it's very early, and he said, I quote, it's years out, which means that, you could imagine that it's probably 3 or 4 years out. But something? That's the beauty of Xbox Game Studios right now. They literally have so many games in development that we're going to be looking in this hand and it's going to have a plentiful, and you're going to look on the other hand and say, my God, I could wait for game X, Y, and Z because A, B, and C, my God, they're incredible. And I think that is what where Microsoft wanted to be, and that is where they currently are. Crispy, I don't know how big of a fan of Fallout you are, but Fallout New Vegas reigns supreme in most conversations. Is that something that you're excited to hear could potentially come back in a sequel, and that it's Obsidian that's actually doing it?
Huge New Vegas fan. Huge. Oh my God, that game was something else. You literally, I played the game completely neutral the whole time, which was absolutely super difficult. I had to go through every side quest, and then I ended up killing Caesar, and I massacred them using House's bots after I killed House. Like, it was, yeah. So you can there's House has a like an army of bots that's buried right near Caesar's encampment, and you can actually befriend Caesar's Legion, but then he asks you to do something, and this is where they allow you to roam around the encampment, and then you go and you find the spot, and you go, and because I already killed House, the bots were mine. So then I unlocked them, and they just ran through. It was one of the most entertaining things, because after what he did to one of the towns, I can't remember which one, it was like, yeah, you need to all die, bro. Like, that's so it was just something that was just so fun. And I would like to see a New Vegas remaster. I think
you know what? It's funny you say that, because in the same conversation, he said that Microsoft, and we're going to talk about, we're going to get really into detail this Tuesday on the new episode of the Xbox Factor podcast, because he said something that really got me excited, because I know a lot of people are like, remasters, who cares? Right here, I care to go back to some of these old games done. And he mentioned that Microsoft is heavily considering bringing back Gears in a Master Chief collection. You and I have talked about that exclusively before, but he also said that they're looking to do that for Fallout, as well as have like a remastered collection of the Fallout series, that being one of them. And I think that if you can get a team to do a remaster while another team is creating the world to, obviously it came out many years ago. A lot of people aren't going to remember what happened. I would play through Fallout New Vegas in a remaster in a microsecond.
Yeah, and I'm sticking with it. Fallout NCR. That would be New Vegas too.
Yes.
The story is set up to go to California.
Yep.
Actually, they set the story up to have a sequel. And actually, a lot of people don't remember, Obsidian and Bethesda had a big tiff, as we like to call it. They weren't happy with each other at a certain point. So I'm glad that the talks are going on. Really, you could set up Fallout 5 really awesome, like somewhere in the Midwest or in the center of the country, because you would establish the West Coast and the East Coast. And even if it's like an epic battle in the middle, like, something you could really like go crazy with this whole story and how it goes about. And I mean, honestly, because New Vegas was so good, so well done, especially to story wise and the dialogues and how you could play the game. I mean, you have to have Obsidian continue at least that part of it. And then you maybe the collaboration for Fallout 5, you never know. But I mean, it's just exciting to hear remaster, because these games do deserve a fresh coat of paint. You could have more AI in the world. You could have more intricate detail. I mean, New Vegas, when we played it, was just amazing. But you go back and try to play that now, and you're like, it's a little muddy here. And you go into New Vegas, the actual city, and you're like, oh, there's nobody here. and this was actually a limitation they had because of how big the world was, that they had to take assets and put them in certain areas. So I mean, with the power of these consoles now, it's limitless at this point.
Yeah, no, absolutely, 100%. And like you, I would happily run through it again without even thinking twice. Dreadpool, let's get your opinion on it, brother. What are your thoughts on the return of Obsidian to do Fallout New Vegas 2?
I think it would be kind of cool. I mean, as Fuzzy said before, we had those little thoughts, like, oh wow, wouldn't it be cool if, wouldn't it be awesome if? Mm-hmm. And it looks like the if is a possibility now.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, being the guys that first developed it, came up with the idea, then made what arguably is probably the best game of the series.
Yep.
As a spin-off slash outside studio, and now they're back to the game that they love, with the guys that took over and made it better, and so forth. And now the collaboration is there. It's going to be it's going to be very well hyped. How's that? Because I just see it. People are just going to just hype all over this. If this is true, if this is going to happen, the excitement is going to be unbearable, for a lot of other people that don't get into these games. But holy cow, can you imagine?
Dude,
you know what I mean? Just to see where they take it now, because now it's just not one studio's vision; it's a combined vision of two studios, and with the support with Xbox's money / Microsoft backing them to do more than just the bare minimum to get it going. To is this good enough? Is this great enough? You know what I mean?
It's very exciting, and and I think what you're talking about is what we can expect from Xbox Game Studios, because they have so many actual development houses under one umbrella that not only are they going to be helping each other be better and bring these AAA level games that we see come from Sony, but there's going to be so many of them, and they're going to be bringing back so many of our favorite IPs. I mean, just once the Activision Blizzard deal gets done, and it's going to get done by year's end, at least in my opinion. It is hard to imagine that we could see a revival of something like Pitfall take on be a modern Pitfall, maybe like an Uncharted, maybe like a Tomb Raider. That to think about that is just bonkers, and it's exciting. But Crazy Lou Gaming, let's get your opinion on this, brother. What are your thoughts on New Vegas 2 coming out?
I have never played New Vegas.
Oh, dude, you should definitely play it, brother. Play the enhanced version that they have available for the Series X. It's the best in the series. Again, that's my opinion.
Because I played Fallout 4. Is it way better than Fallout 4?
It takes a dump on Fallout 4, honestly.
All right. I'm gonna try it. Yes, yeah. I'm gonna try it.
It's so good that I put about 340 hours into Fallout 3, which was one of my favorites. And Vegas came out, and I put even more into that. I absolutely loved Fallout New Vegas. The choice, it's such a big world. It's Las Vegas. It's just the NPCs are just amazing. It is again, if you enjoyed 4. And you are going to absolutely fall in love with Fallout New Vegas.
Oh man,
that's why I said arguably the best version of the series.
Yep, 100%. I would absolutely agree with that. I would. The hashtag BoomStick approved on that opinion. But yeah, Crazy Lou. Listen, we're gonna get to you in a second on your outro. But Wilmy Hood, you're there, brother. You might have had to step away for a call.
Oh no, I'm here.
Okay, so hey, Wilmy, listen, what are your thoughts on the information from Jeffy Grub, where he dropped not only the Spartacus information, but he also talked about Microsoft bringing back Obsidian to do Fallout New Vegas 2?
It's great for the people that like it. I'm kind of like Crazy Lou. I never played it. It just some of those games, man. I played a couple of the originals, and they kind of bored me after a while.
Okay, I mean that's fair.
I know my son loved the game. I don't know how many hours he put into it years ago, but yeah, it's just not my type of thing. But I'm happy for everybody that's looking forward to it there.
Yeah, I mean, what could you say? That's I mean, well said as always, Wilmy. So let's get everyone out of here, folks. I want to thank the 350 plus people that tuned in for today's Breakfast with Boom. Hopefully, you enjoyed the commentary that we all had. Obviously, it's just opinions. Don't take it to heart. Dreadpool had to ban some guy because he was kind of being a D-bag. Don't be a D-bag if you have different opinions. It's okay to have different opinions.
Yes, the world revolves around different opinions. Could you imagine how boring life would be if everybody thought the same thing?
That is absolutely correct in saying
don't
so.
Don't be that snooty, I'm better than you because of this. This game is better than this because of that. Don't be that type of,
I do that anyway.
That's different.
Accent.
But that's the way that it was so condescending. He didn't even get a warning. So
yeah, and that's fine.
I'm not apologizing.
Yeah, no, you don't have to. If you're an a-hole, you get bounced, you get banned. And obviously, this is not the place for you. This is a place to come and hang out, enjoy yourself, have fun, talk with other gamers, have different opinions, and don't feel bad about having those different opinions. But let's get to the outros. We'll start first with our two guests. Wilmy Hood, thanks, brother, for being here. We got to get you back on here sooner than later. Glad that you're doing better. Please tell everyone where they could reach out to you on social media and what you got going on your YouTube channel.
Oh God, I learned yesterday. I actually enjoyed streaming a game. I don't stream very often, but we had a lot of fun with Martha's Dead, even though it was such a terrible game. and I do mean terrible. If you've not, but then again, it's all in, up to the person. It just wasn't my type of game. You can find me every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock Eastern on Gaming Beyond the Box on YouTube. Believe it or not, we're almost 20,000 subscribers strong. I don't know when the hell that happened.
Wow.
Congrats.
But I do actually want to take a second. I want to thank the entire community. It's really easy when you're a podcaster to become jaded. It really, truly is. And
absolutely,
I know a lot of people in the chat don't realize it. A lot of us actually talk to each other behind the scenes. Like Boom and I, we call each other on the phone.
On a regular, yeah.
I mean, we talk to each other a lot behind the scenes. It gets really easy to just consider the entire community as toxic. And I think actually Boom and I have had the same message a lot of times to each other. A lot of the gaming community is just crazy and needs, therapy. But, our community did prove something to me this week. I've had over 15,000 people reach out to me about the incidents that happened last week to check out, check on me.
Mm-hmm.
A guy they've never met, they've only seen on a webcam or they've heard on podcast. That was very humbling, and I do want to thank everybody for doing that. Not only did you blow me away, so was my wife. She received countless messages all week long. Even my 2 daughters on Twitter were getting messages all week. We had countless messages through YouTube, and I never really considered myself a podcaster as much or a content creator. I consider Boom a creator because I don't know how the hell he does all these shows every week and puts this kind of time into it. We just get on podcast and we show up on a webcam. We talk a lot of trash, talk about games, and that's it for the week. But I was very humbled this week by everybody, reaching out. And I want to thank everybody that was involved. And I am back. And, you can catch me every Wednesday night. You can find me on YouTube, Twitter. Sadly, Facebook, even though, me and Zuckerberg, we're never going to see eye to eye. I'm still on there too, sadly, for some reason. And now you can find me playing Elden Ring, which I never thought was going to happen in a million years. I really didn't. So you can actually, if you want to join into the party, join in if you're a friend of mine online, because you can find me on Xbox, PlayStation, and Steam as Wilmy Hood, exactly like you see it on the screen. And we can scream and yell at Elden Ring together for a little while.
Nice.
But other than that, that's it.
Nice. Well, listen, great to have you on the show. Glad that you're feeling better. And obviously, you are obviously loved in this community, and for good reason. You are a good dude, and you tell it like it is. And you know what? We absolutely love that about you. Thank you for being here, brother. As always, Crazy Lou Gaming. You got a few things going on. You got obviously Xbox International.
Yes.
Obviously, you're going to be getting down with some Elden Ring soon enough. Tell everyone where they can reach out to you on social media, but more importantly, check you out on some of the shows you are a part of.
Well, on Tuesdays, I'm with Sour Blow Gaming. My brother Sour Blow and me talking a Spanish podcast to reach the Spanish community. We talk news and stuff like that, which is called Gaming Lobby. It's at 7 p.m. EST. And on Wednesdays is where I am at the big show, which is called Xbox International, where me, Sour Blow, Silent Cypher, and Mr. Joanna Dark talk about news and stuff. But that's the English channel. We're there at 7 p.m. EST over there, Crazy Louie Gaming. That's my channel. And also on Twitter, where I dance, where I do jumping jacks, where I do all sorts of crazy stuff on my Twitter thing. It's at Crazy Louie Gaming. So guys, catch me over there.
Thanks for being here, brother. Glad you jumped in to give us your opinion on things. And of course, yes, definitely follow him and check him out on his 2 podcasts. Fuzzy Belvedere, brother, you got a lot going on yourself. Tell everyone where they can reach out to you on social media. Tell them about your YouTube channel that is heavily driving focused, but also one worthy of a sub. And where can people find you on other shows?
Well, I want to thank you, Boom, for having me on. I want to thank Crazy Louie and Wilmy Hood for joining us today. I want to thank Crispy Bomb and Dreadpool for being here as well, and thank you, Boom, as well. I want to thank the chat for keeping it gaming for the most part and everything. And man, just great time to be a gamer.
Indeed.
Just love this hobby. And for anybody that wants to hear my ramblings on anything Forza related or just gaming in general, you can follow me on Twitter at fuzzy_Belvedere, or you can sub to my YouTube, also fuzzy_Belvedere on YouTube. It's mainly more replays, but some content here and there. But Otherwise, you can also catch me on Tidbits on Mondays with Mav on Fun Speculations channel. You can, I believe this Wednesday, I'll be joining the Gaming Beyond the Box group with Wilmy Hood. And on Friday, no, not Friday, yeah. Friday mornings, you can always catch me here on Breakfast with Boom, and on Saturdays on FSP with Mav and Just Key, and on later that evening on the Shop Podcast with PTK Blam and Pong Soul.
Nice.
Once again, thank you everyone for coming out today.
And
thank
Blue,
you for being here,
I
brother.
just followed you, sir. I just found you on Twitter. I don't know how I've missed you all this time.
Wow.
If you follow me back, be prepared. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Be prepared for what? What happened?
Yeah, no, don't spoil the goods. Follow him and be prepared. That's all I'm going to say. You're going to like it.
You got to be prepared for me too. I mean, I do crazy stuff.
Crazy Lou meets Wilmy Hood. It's like Jason versus Freddy. I think definitely on something here. But yeah, real quick, Crispy Bomb, let's get you on out of here, brother. Tell everyone where they can check you out, where you can find you on other podcasts, and where can people strike up a conversation on social media.
Always a pleasure, gentlemen. Wilmy, good to have you back, brother. At Crispy Bomb on Twitter, CrispyBomb28, Xbox Live. We got Monday, 5 p.m. We're doing a 1v1 fight night with K-Mega 4. Check out his channel. I'm sure he'll be announcing it. I don't know how he's going to brand it yet. It's a brand new thing he's going to try to do. We're going to do like 20 matches of Mortal Kombat 11, and then we'll get the community in after we have our battle to the death.
Oh, you're doing this K-Mega?
Yeah, it's gonna be.
I gotta watch this.
Yeah, he's probably gonna smoke me, but I do have.
He's totally gonna. He's gonna whip your ass, dude. Sorry.
Yeah, I beat him several times. And I also have like 1,500 matches under my belt on that game. So,
nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
I'll put my money on K on this.
Yeah, I know. I think a lot of people will, but I'm the underdog. That's all right. And then Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Retro Renegades. Thursday, 8 p.m. prime time, the next podcast. Of course, back here, Breakfast with Boom, Friday, 10 a.m.
Thank you, brother. Definitely appreciate that. And Dreadpool last and no way leaves, brother. Tell everyone about Breaking Bread with Dread, and where can people reach out to you on social media?
Yes. Thank you, everybody in the chat, except for that one dude. But yeah, everybody in the chat, you guys are great. The panel, our guests, obviously, Wilmy's going to get all his credit for being Wilmy, and not letting anything stop him from kicking it in its ass and still coming back and coming strong. So, also Lou, it's great talking with you again. So anyway, back to Breaking Bread with Dread, and as I mentioned earlier at the beginning of the show, John Wayne Root Beer, the last Breaking Bread with Dread we did was with Italian Clowns, and we walked over and found this fizz pop place.
Oh, wow.
And they had all that stuff. So I'm still working on the TikTok stuff to throw that stuff out there so everybody can see all that fun crap. But anyway, just find me at linktree.com/Dreadpool, all letters, all caps. And it'll have all the links, everything we do. We have Game Beyond the Box Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock. Friday mornings here. Breakfast with Boom. And tomorrow, I don't have a time. I don't know why I don't have a time, but we have slated Gaz for our creator feature. Husk and I are going to be doing tomorrow.
Nice.
So definitely check out Game Beyond the Box for all that info.
I forgot to. Go ahead.
You forgot to? Okay. So anyway, yeah, so check all that stuff out everywhere. I have been, excuse me, I have been live streaming. And my channel is actually growing a little bit here and there. And then, as we talked about before, the shadow blocking of subs, or whatever you want to call it, shadow hiding of subs. But it's still pushing. So
nice.
If you want to see some 1440p 60 footage, check it out.
Nice. Well, listen, great to have you back here every Friday, brother, and I love what you're doing in on your channel. And folks, listen, I'm going to close out the show. First of all, let me say a big thank you to all the super chats that came in. Those continue to power the show and allow us to do the big giveaways that Mrs. Boom and I have been doing for the last couple of years. And of course, in 2022, we're going to continue that trend. I also wanted to say a big thank you for the community that helped us cross 10,000 subscribers early last month. A big deal for this small channel. We're closing in on 3 million views, which is pretty impressive considering the fact that we've only been on YouTube for 4 years. Yeah, just a little over 4 years. We're closing in on 3 million views, which is bonkers. And that's all thanks to you. That's all thanks to the folks in the chat right now. And of course, I'm going to close out the show with something that is important to me. Hopefully, it'll be important to you one day. And that's something that my dad taught us when we were kids. And he said, son, treat others how you want to be treated. And also, it doesn't cost anything to be nice. You live by those rules, and I can guarantee you're going to have an awesome day. So take care, everyone. Have a safe weekend. And we'll see you next week on the newest episode of Breakfast with Boom.